Interesting bird. Red eyes. Today is the February 27th, 2018. I am about to get ready for my job at the tutoring house. I just work 2 hours there, which is good. Just go there and chill. There's a couple jerks that are there, but there's an attractive woman that I like. A couple attractive women there. But I'm just going to do a quick vlog about I always take full responsibility for my life. People that dislike me want to paint an accurate picture of me. Because that's the thing about haters. They'll try to paint an inaccurate picture of you to make themselves feel better about themselves. So people that are like that in the world, that want to paint an inaccurate picture of me, they'll I take full responsibility for everything I do in my life. You know, I've made a lot of mistakes. I wasn't raised properly at all. I was terribly abused and neglected as a child. Which led to me taking longer to having to learn things on my own. I didn't have any parents growing up. My dad was a psycho, sociopath, the most horrible person I've ever known. And my mother had schizophrenia and she didn't have custody of us. For some reason our psycho dad did. And he kept us in a garage, you know, and that's just a fact, you know. I'm just saying, why am I the way I am? But the thing is that people that try to paint an inaccurate picture, they're like, oh, it's always the same with you. You're always making excuses. Same old, same old. There's a couple of people like that in my church. There was this fat guy that I let live in this apartment that said that, and I called him in his tracks. I'm like, dude, no, I take full responsibility for me. I'm like, that's when I realized, oh, this guy doesn't even like me. I'm letting him live here for free. He doesn't even like me. He would always do shit to the milk and stuff. He was one of the most creepiest people ever. His name was Fisher. His mom was fucking creepy as fuck too. But anyways, like an example with him, that Fisher guy. He was a fake Christian too. He just said he was Christian to get me to like him. But anyways, the Fisher guy, because right when I met him, I was like, oh, Fisher, I like that name because of the Bible verse. But anyways, I was saying, explaining to him yeah, I graduated from University of Texas in 2010, but I haven't been able to get a job with my college degree because I don't have an actual, tangible, physical copy of my diploma. Why? Because I owed a few $100s in library fines to the university, to the school, to the fine arts library. I owed money for library fines, so they wouldn't give me my diploma until I paid back the library fines. The library fines were at 1% interest, so it went up from, it started off at $200, then it went to $350, then it was up to $450. And since the time I graduated, not having parents, family, or rich uncle, or actually, my dad's a multi-millionaire, but like I said, he's also a scummy sociopath that's gonna die with all his money, and he does terrible things. He did terrible things to children too. But anyways, you can't change who your parents are. My mom was a really good person, but like I said, she had schizophrenia. But the fact of the matter is, it's not like I'm making an excuse in that matter. Like the fat guy Fisher was like, you're always making excuses. It's not one thing, it's the other. And somebody from my church, this old guy that's in his 70s that's been obsessed with me, and he goes out of his way to say something really mean to me every week. He's actually a church elder. There's 3 church elders at my church that don't like me. They're all older men, over the age of 60, I guess, and they're all creepy as fuck. You know, there's no getting around it. All 3 of them are not good Christians. The last time I went to church, last Saturday, I walked in and all 3 of them were standing on the stage. I don't have anything against them. I guess I just called them creepy and bad Christians, but hey, that's about as far as I'll go with calling them names and stuff. But one of them was this guy. Fuck, dude, I hope North Korea's not shooting off another missile. That's what they did during that missile thing. Alright, anyways, there might be a fucking huge missile coming here, so might as well hurry up with this vlog. But yeah, there's 3 guys. I don't even know what the fuck that was. They have these sirens and announces things if in case there's a hurricane or a typhoon, a tsunami, or a missile from North Korea or here in Hawaii. Don't let the North Korean get ya. Come here, Maggie. So yeah, I'm not the type that makes excuses for things. Things happened when I was growing up. I had a little cat when I was growing up, and my dad did something very bad to it. It's the worst thing you can do to an animal. He should have been put in jail for that. But the fact of the matter is that when they were like, oh, it's always something the same with you. You know, like they say that in Hawaii a lot because it's like some of the mentality here, it's like, it's always the same. You know, like I tell people like, yeah, one time I had this red Mazda, it was the best car I ever had. And they're, you had a car? You never had a car. You always taking a bus. Nah, dude, I've had like 10 different cars in my life. I don't have one in Hawaii because I get free bus transportation and it's a lot easier and it's shit driving here. But anyways, as far as my diploma and stuff goes, like there was a very rational, the pastor of my church is a really great guy. And he sees what kind of person I am, and he's very rational, and he helped me get my diploma. And then as soon as I got diploma, I got a regular job as teaching now. And like, which pays more than I've ever made in my life. But that was because he believed in me, and the other guys, you know, like they were like, oh yeah, right. A few of them didn't believe that I graduated from UT, you know. And, you know, it does hurt me though. It's like, people just want to paint an inaccurate picture about you. You know, it makes them feel better about themselves. And me, I haven't been really as aggressive as I should have been in life. I've been passive and too much of a nice guy, right? And some like stupid, slow-minded, usually like overweight, or they got whatever faults they have that they're concerned about. They see me, I'm 6'3", and I'm you know, good looking and very intelligent, so but also very nice and passive. So that they think it's like if they get a one on me, you know, then they'll be pushed to the top, you know. And like I've gotten that in Hawaii so much, like they're gonna steal my thunder or magic, you know. Like it's ridiculous, really. Anyways. Yeah, it is kind of weird, like, there's 3 people at the church that just do not like me at all, you know? This one guy, Jojo, he's from the Philippines. Like, he's given the sermon a couple times. And all 3 of those people, they've all given the sermon terribly, too. You know, this one guy, Jojo, he gives the sermon and he just talks about himself. He's like, I am #1. He's, like, from the Philippines. I am #1. I am very tall. I play professional basketball. I am #1. Like, he just talks about himself the whole time. And then, like, terrible, like, person. And then Mario, like, he's like this old guy in his 70s. He's been the meanest to me. One day I was like cutting oranges and he comes up, he's like, you better not go around killing people with that knife. And I was just like in shock, like, what the fuck? You saying that shit to me at church? What the fuck's wrong with you, old man? But actually, Jojo's daughter, she's the only member of the family that doesn't hate me, because they have no reason to hate me. But she was just like, called him on it, like, why would you say something like that or something, you know? But like, yeah, the guy Jojo, he's not a terrible person, but like one time I heard him say, he's like, the white men did not discover America, Filipinos discovered America. And I'm just like, what the fuck? No, they didn't. They didn't at all. The first Filipinos that came here to California, and they were like the workers of the Spanish that conquered them. The reason there's so many Spanish words in the Filipino language is because the Filipino language had such a simple fucking language. The Spanish language is the 2nd most popular language in the world. More than 780 million people speak it. Like, English is the most common language in, I think, English? No, what's the most common? I don't know. But Spanish is in the top 3, English is in the top 3, and about 800 million people speak it. That's irrelevant. Irrelevant. The time I used the word irrelevant correctly, kids. But I'm not the type that just makes an excuse. I take full responsibility. However, I did grow up very harshly without parents and stuff. And what happens psychologically? Well, physically you aged at the same rate, but psychologically it takes you a little bit while to learn things. Me and my brother, we were terrible with conversation up until our 20s, up until our mid-20s is where we finally became adults. Before then, like someone would say something, we couldn't get it. We'd be like, what? You know, and like, you know, women just in general, they mature faster, but you take 2 twin boys and raise them like feral kids. Well, we weren't feral, we went to public schools and stuff, but we had no parental supervision. No, we just had an abusive, sociopathic father who is the worst human being I've ever known. Just look at the objectivity, the things that he did, they're objective, you know. You can't say anything, you know. I stick with objectivity, bitches.